for joining us for another Kickstarter Conniption. Today we'll be previewing the game Not It, the Cryptid Hunters Edition.
And as always, we want to make sure you're aware that our Kickstarter Conniption videos are sponsored in part by our Kickstarter backers and by the creators of this game. And welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
I'm Lincoln Meadows, and today we'll be looking at a Kickstarter preview of Not It, the Cryptid Hunters Edition from the Good Game Company.
This is from designer Dave Urich, and it's for 3 to 6 players. It takes about 10 to 20 minutes to play. It's a fast action, dice rolling, card playing game. The Good Game Company was kind enough to send us a copy to check out, so let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, empty the contents out of the Cryptid Tower and deal each player a hand of cards based on your player count.
The youngest player begins as the hunter and takes the dice and rolls them through the tower.
All of the players then race to find a card in their hand that doesn't match any of the symbols shown on the dice.
The last player has to take their card back into their hand.
And if the hunter finds any players who played the wrong card, they not only get to claim their card as their trophy, but the player has to draw a penalty card out of the deck.
Then it's the next player's turn to act as the hunter. As soon as one player has managed to play all of their cards, the game ends and players tally up their points.
1 positive point for each trophy collected, and 1 negative point per card still in their hand.
The player with the most points is the Cryptid Hunting Champion. Not It, the Cryptid Hunters Edition is actually a second edition of the Not It game. I think Liam and I had an opportunity to see that one at some point. It is the same concept where the dice tower is the box for the game, which is pretty slick. This new version, this is a pre-pressed version, and the die is noticeably nicer. Like the plastic mold is much heavier, seems more heavy duty. I think the dice and cards are going to be upgraded as well. They may be based on stretch goals, but they seem to be chunkier and a little bit better in this version. And then they also did add a couple of new rule sets to the game, but basically you're going to be dropping the dice through the tower and then trying to find a card that doesn't match everything else on the table, and it can be a little crazy.
Since it's a dice game, there is a little bit of luck, but you have to have speed and strategy. My strategy is I have 1 or 2 cards in my hand ready, so if you drop through the dice and it's not any of these 2 cards, well, it has the stuff on it,
right,
then I put it down and then I have 4 cards ready.
That is a good strategy. That's probably why he beats me at this game. Yeah, you have a pretty big handful of cards. It's based on player count, so if you have like 4 players, I think you have like 8 or 9, 10 cards in your hand. And so looking through all of those can make it more crazy. It's a good idea, just focusing on one. If you play the wrong card, though, and it ends up on the table, which you do a lot of times just because of the speed of wanting to get it out of your hand, then the person who's rolling the dice, the hunter, gets to collect that card and add that to their trophy stash. And at the end of the game, you're going to take the number of cards in your hand minus the number of cards that you've collected. That's going to be your final score for the game. It's been interesting to see the different scorings that we have. Sometimes you feel like, man, I haven't gotten rid of any cards, but I have won a lot, or I've gotten rid of all my cards, but I haven't won any. So it really has some interesting variables on the way that the scoring happens at the end of the game.
The art in the last game compared to this game, honestly, in my opinion, this one's better because it has all these like monsters. There's like Bigfoot, the Kraken, aliens, there's
Mothman.
Mothman, I haven't even heard of that one.
Mothman does look pretty cool in this one. Yeah, it's got some very popular creatures in it. Has a very nice little theme. I almost wanted to like glow in the dark. You wouldn't really be able to play it in the dark, but it seems like that type of thing. If it looks like a game that you'd be interested in, then definitely check it out on Kickstarter right now. As I mentioned, there's probably going to be some upgraded component options and things in their Kickstarter, so take a look at those. Fun one, quick one. I don't know what the retail is on it, but affordable. It makes a great like gift size because it's just everything is in one little package. Cool stuff. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this at all, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Victory dance.
Oh yeah. Oh, we did it! I got him.
I'm Will Meadows. His name's Lincoln Meadows.
Yeah, it is. Is that it? Be looking at a Kickstarter prototype. The
Of Not It.
of Not It.
The Cryptid Hunters
The
Edition.
Cryptid Hunters Edition
From the Good Game Company.
from the good. Okay. Looking at a Kickstarter prototype. The Not It, and it's the Cryptid Hunters Edition. Yeah. Okay.